So guys, I've told people time and time again, man, if you're coming to Chicago from out of town to visit, you gotta know where you're going. You gotta tap in with somebody who knows their way around here, man, because if you get caught in the wrong spot, you're gonna end up dead. And there was a news report in the Chicago media. This is from Princeton Park. He said one of the two people shot and critically wounded during an armed robbery Sunday night in Princeton Park on the south side has died. A guy named Devseesh, I'm going to probably say this name wrong. Forgive me, guys, if you guys are got any Desi people out there. But Devseesh Nandipu Hyderabad, 23, of Chicago, died after 4 a.m. Monday morning in Oak Lawn at Christ Medical Center. He had been shot in the armpit and taken to the hospital in critical condition. He and a 22-year-old were near a parking lot at about 6:55 p.m. Sunday over by 84th and South Holland Road when a dark-colored vehicle approached and two occupants exited before demanding their property at gunpoint. The men complied, and they were shot anyways. The younger man was struck in the chest and was taken to the hospital where he was in critical condition, and nobody was in custody as of Tuesday morning. So that's from the American media. Here's what the Indian media reported about this incident. They said, quote, a 23-year-old student from, again, I'm going to say this name wrong, Andhra Pradesh, died in Chicago on Monday, a day after he was shot by armed assailants. They said the deceased was identified as Nandapu Devansh, a native of Vijaya. Guys, these Indian names, I'm sorry, man. Listen, man, we got, like us Greeks, we got names that are even harder to pronounce than this, so I'm not hating on nobody, but Vijayawada, I think. I don't know, man. But the attack took place on Sunday when he and his two friends, a guy named Kopala, who was 22 from Hyderabad, and a guy named Lakshman, were walking to a Walmart in Chicago. They were accosted, they said, by armed assailants who robbed the students and later opened fire at the students when they tried to escape. They like I said, they were accosted by these assailants, and all three were taken to the hospital where one of them succumbed to his injuries. Police said that Devansh completed his bachelor's degree in engineering from a private college in India, and he had gone to the U.S. 10 days ago to pursue the master's course in the Governor State University in Chicago. So the other two students, too, had left India for the U.S., they said, only about a fortnight ago, fortnight. But I mean, the Indians learn English from the British, so I mean, this is their media. But Chicago police are on the lookout for the suspects. They said this one might be solved just because of the area where it happened. But yeah, he had just come to the U.S. 10 days ago, man, and he was shot, and killed in a robbery in Chicago. Now that area where he was at, that's over by 84th and State. That right there is right by Simeon. Like Simeon Career Academy is just a little bit to the north of that. It's right by the Dan Ryan Expressway. You're right between like Chatham and Auburn Gresham. Okay, Auburn Gresham is like just to the west of that by like a couple blocks. That area is. I'm not gonna say that spot right there is hot, but there's killers all over that area. Okay, I mean guys that are doing this kind of stuff. Like that area is like that. So I mean the fact that they were down there going to that Walmart. I don't know if they talked to anybody, man. Like, to just, he'd only been here for 10 days, So, like I said, anybody that's thinking of coming here, man, you got to tap in first, man. Because Chicago is it's like a chessboard. I mean, you can be in an area where it looks like super sweet. You see all this shopping. You see people coming from all over the city to shop at these spots. And then you just go like a couple blocks away from that, though, and you're like in the middle of a war zone. You know what I'm saying? Like Chicago is like that. It's not like some of these cities where it's like you got to get in a car and drive like miles and miles to get to the area where it's going down at. You can be in that. You can go from like super high end area to like dangerous area in a few blocks here in Chicago. So you definitely got to tap in, man. And as a general rule, like if you can't tap it, you don't know anybody, okay, and you just like don't know what you're doing or where to go, staying north of downtown, your odds are going to be better. There's still areas that are hot north of downtown, though. I mean, I'm not saying there's not, but I'm saying like if you have nobody to ask and you just don't know where you're going, just stay north of downtown, and your odds are going to be better than if you just like are going all over the city. A lot of people that come from other countries are going to ITT on the south side. They're going to U of C, and you're like really right sandwiched in between like a lot of gang territories and stuff. U of C is one of the top colleges in the country, so I mean, if you get in there, I'm not going to tell you don't go there, but if you got in there, you probably got into some other really good places too, so you might want to check those out. And Northwestern is in a sweet area in the suburb of Evanston, and that's it's not quite on par with UFC, but it's still up there. I mean, it's still one of the best schools like in the country. But yeah, just know, I mean, in Chicago, it happens like this, man. Like these guys are all over the city doing this. So rest in peace to this guy, man. And like I said, if you know somebody who lives here, I mean, ask a cab driver, ask an Uber driver, anybody. Like, we're thinking of going to this spot. How is that neighborhood over there? You know, it doesn't hurt to ask. And it can literally save your life. Your boy Winnie C report. I'm out.